Mascara. I freaking love mascara. Honestly, it's one of my desert island products. However, there are some specific requirements that I have for my mascara. First, I don't want my mascara to be smudging all over the place. Second, I want my eyelashes to enter the room before me. And I want my lashes to like blow you away when I blink. Now, that's a lot to ask from a mascara. I also want my lashes to not get all smudgy because I have very oily eyelids. So because that's a lot to ask from a mascara, I honestly always go back to the same mascara because I know that it's not I know that it's not going to let me down. So we're gonna try on a bunch of mascaras because I was looking at my collection and realizing that I honestly have way too many, more than I could ever possibly go through. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put on any eyeshadow. I'm going to apply the mascara, talk about it a little bit, and then I'm going to hopefully compare them all at the end just with a picture because I think that that is a good way of, you know, getting a good clue. Let's get started. One of my favorite mascaras of all time is the Tarte Man-Eater mascara. Part of the reason I like this, I never find that it smudges on me. I can build up quite a lot of length and quite a lot of volume. It also has this really spiky thin brush that I feel like I can really get in there and build up a lot of mascara and product in here. I always think that it ends up looking good. So that's one coat, which honestly just by itself is not bad. But if I were to even get in there a little bit more, like I can build that up quite a lot. So like comparatively, lashes, no lashes. Let's pop it on the other side. I find that this doesn't flake on me. It also doesn't smudge. I get just about the max of volume and flutteriness that I can get from a mascara. This gives me that. So I definitely love this mascara. The Tarte Man-Eater has been a favorite. I always end up trying new ones and then coming back to that. But I do want to really put it to the test and look at it in comparison to other ones. So I'll be right back. I'm going to take this off and then we'll try another one. All right, so since we're doing this, I'm thinking we'll try the Cali Ray High or High Water Mascara. Now, this one is such a wet formula. I've tried this one, I've tried most of these mascaras before, and it is wet. The wand just looks like it's going to be a little bit clumpy. Now, not to say this is a bad mascara. I'm sure that there are those that really like it. I just find that it doesn't give me what I want, and I always end up getting it everywhere. So first of all of a sudden, I'm feeling like I only have a few lashes, and I'm a little bit afraid to blink because I'm afraid that this is going to get everywhere. Like I already have gotten it in a few places. I forgot to mention, I'm only doing 2 coats of all of these mascaras. So that's 2 coats on this side. Let's go ahead and duplicate it on this other side. I feel like I do have to be really, really careful with this one. It does look pretty, but this kind of wet formula also terrifies me because I'm always afraid I'm gonna get it everywhere. Pretty mascara, but I felt like it just doesn't build up the same way as some other mascaras. It's just okay. All right, so the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. I don't necessarily have a problem with this one. However, there are ones that I like more. So if you look at the wand, it is very, very spiky. It is more of that cone tapered shape, which I know a lot of people really like. It's not quite as spiky as there's more spikes on this one than there is on my Tarte mascara. If I come in here, first coat, see this one I actually do feel like gives a very similar effect as the Tarte one. However, I do feel like this one, you kind of have to open and let it age like fine wine a little bit because I don't think it starts out giving the same effect. I think you have to let it dry down a little bit. Now this one is in a good sweet spot, so that's 1 coat. See, again, not bad. All right, so that's 2 coats. It's a very similar effect to the Tarte Man-Eater mascara. However, like I said, this one I have to age, and honestly, I want my mascara to look like I want it to look from the very first time that I open it. I don't think that it's realistic for me to be like, okay, I have to open it and use it a couple of times in order for it to hit its stride, especially considering I'm sorry, but makeup in general is a little bit expensive. So if I spend, even if I only spend, what is this one, like $7, I want to be able to open it and it to work immediately. This is beautiful, but it needs to work immediately. So this one, and I do find that this one doesn't separate my lashes as well as the Tarte one. So that's what I think of that one. There are things that I like better about other mascaras. All right, so this is one that everybody has been obsessed with. This is the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. This is one of the most overrated mascaras in my opinion. So it's a tubey mascara, which is part of the reason that everybody's obsessed with it. It has a very similar wand to the Lash Princess mascara. And honestly, Part of the reason people really like it is because it's a tubing mascara, which means that it will come off in tubes off of your eyelashes. However, I find this to be very, very wet and it smudges like crazy. If I go ahead and put it on my lashes, I just find that this mascara is very wet and it smudges like crazy. It also only really gives length for me. It doesn't really give volume, which I hate. So let's go ahead and pop on our first coat. I do like the brush, but I do tend to really like a brush like this. Okay, like very fluttery, very pretty, but this doesn't build up, which is part of the reason why I really struggle with it. That's 2 coats. It's about the same as 1 coat. It just doesn't add a lot of extra oomph. All right, second coat. Remember, I'm doing 2 coats on all of these. It's just okay. There's nothing to me very special about it. It doesn't give the effect that I'm looking for in a mascara. And it never does. I also find, let's see if I can get it to do it. Did you see how that just transferred? That happens every time I wear that mascara. If I blink, it transfers down. I hate that. This is another mascara that I'm gonna rank as just okay. This is the e.l.f. Lash and Roll. I believe it's supposed to be a dupe for the Benefit one. I've never tried the Benefit one. I can't speak to that. So first off, it has this curved wand. It is a little bit wet, which honestly terrifies me. It is a very spiky wand and it's not a super large wand. These types of applicators, typically they're meant to like apply and then push the lashes up. I find that they work okay. They never quite work great and I always end up poking myself in the eye with them. Like, just facts, I like always poke myself in the eye with them. Although I heard great things about this mascara and so I thought that I would give it a try. First off, that's decent. Not a ton of volume, but a lot of lashes. Although the second coat is looking rather nice. That built up decently. I'm rather impressed with that. This is one that I've only used a few times. The only thing is it's so wet that I don't know if I will be able to really wear it because it's going to end up doing the same thing on me as the Thrive mascara. When I blink, it'll transfer. First coat down. Yeah, see, like watch when I pull this out. Do you see how much product is like stuck on there? I have to like wipe it off, which to me is honestly kind of irritating. I feel like the applicator wasn't built that well if it can't manage to like dispense the right amount of product. Although maybe I'm being picky because this one looks decent. That's the e.l.f. Lash and Roll mascara. All right, this is a mascara that I kind of hate that I like it, but it's the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes. So it has a synthetic brush. It's like a spiky synthetic brush. These are my favorite type of brushes. Now the applicator itself, like aside from the fact that it's a synthetic brush, I don't love, but I do like the effect that it gives my lashes. I feel like it builds up rather nicely and doesn't ever get too crazy. I don't want to deal with on my lashes a bunch of excess product that like won't go away and that isn't really adding much. So this one ends up looking really nice and fluttery still. I think that's part of the reason I like a synthetic brush is because I find that it creates this effect really nicely on my lashes. So that's the first coat of product. We're gonna do a second coat. And this one is also a very dry formula, which again, I've mentioned that I really like that. And part of the reason is because if I blink, I know it's not gonna just transfer all the way onto my bottom lashes. Like, I think that looks nice. All right, I'm gonna do the other eye and then I'll show you a final result. See, this is the one thing about this one. I like the product, I don't like the brush. The brush kind of drives me nuts because I feel like I have to apply it in a really weird way to get the effect that I'm looking for. Like I have to hold it kind of at a sideways angle. Otherwise I'm not getting a really good coat on my lashes because there's no bristles on like 2 sides of this brush. All right, coat 2 on the other side. All right, but other than that, look at the effect that that gives. I think it's really pretty. I also kind of hate it when my lashes turn out clumpy. So part of the reason I like a synthetic brush is because I know that it's not going to do that. All right, next to that we have the Milk Kush Mascara. I have to say, this one terrifies me. Like, look at that honking wand. That's not my favorite, but it does exactly what you think it's going to do. It clumps your lashes together and gives you mega volume. Although that's actually not as bad as I remember it being. The applicator is still really scary to me. So this is coat 2. Texture wise, I like this, but the applicator is too terrifying to even deal. Like, and look, when I pull it out, dude. Last time I used this, I stabbed myself in the eye with it because it's such a big applicator. And I have kind of tiny eyes, so that is not my favorite. It's one coat on the side. Oh, this is everywhere. Like, do you see how, I mean, like, even opening it and closing it, you're getting a ton of product everywhere. All right, coat 2. So this is how I feel about this one. My lashes are very, very stuck together, and it is disastrously messy. Like, even when I pushed that in, it got everywhere, and that's not my journey with mascara. If that's your journey, that's fine, but that's not mine. All right, so the Say Beauty mascara. As far as I know, it doesn't have a name other than the Say Beauty mascara. If you know differently, tell me. I do like this kind of wand. I've mentioned that I like a synthetic bristle brush, although the end, I don't know what to do with that. This one, I honestly haven't really played all that much with, but so far it's looking really nice. That's actually pretty nice. That's one coat. I'm gonna go in with the second coat and maybe like put a little bit right up here and then go in. Okay, that's sticking my lashes together a little bit more than I want. That's okay. I expected more from this actually. Although the brush is interesting, I'm not sure that I really like this all that much. Like, come on. All right, let's do a second coat on that side so you can get, I don't know, it's just, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. All right, next up we have this Hourglass Extreme Caution Mascara. This is just a mini one because Hourglass, but the brush on this one is also a little bit terrifying. It's a little bit cone shaped, but honestly, this is more of a natural bristle brush. I don't know if that's technically true, but it looks more natural. This is definitely a very, very wet formula, and it's giving me a very spider effect, which I don't always hate unless it spiders right away. Like if I can build it up and it starts to spider towards the end, but I don't know. Actually, that's looking pretty. As long as this doesn't smudge, I might like this one. All right, 2 coats on the other side. That's actually not that bad. It is a little bit wet for my taste. I don't love the brush, but the application, that's really pretty. Lash Idol from Lancome. This I actually believe is a mini. It's just in this crazy large looking packaging, but the brush is also one of those like curved brushes, a synthetic curved brush. These brushes, I think I've mentioned before, terrify me, but honestly can be really pretty as well if you're not scared to use them, which I am. But essentially the curve is meant to help push up the lashes without, you know, getting it all over your face. So that's one coat. As you can tell, it is really pretty. Let's try to get a second coat. This is the problem though with such expensive mascaras, is that they're expensive. So this one doesn't really clump up, but I also find that my lashes look a little bit stringy. Also, look at when I pull this out of the tube, I like always get this like chunk of mascara that I have to wipe off. Otherwise it's going to get everywhere, which also isn't my favorite. Like, it's okay, it's just not the best mascara that I've tried. Coat 2, decent, but even some of the ones that I didn't like performed better than this. This is almost giving to me one of those natural mascaras, but I also do expect a lot out of my mascara. All right, I've had people tell me that the Lights Camera Lashes mascara from Tarte is one of their favorites. I have to say, I don't like this one. So the brush, first of all, isn't really my ideal brush, but this one is also very wet in comparison to the Maneater mascara. And I find that first off, wet mascaras smudge everywhere on me, but second, that a wet mascara tends to be more lengthening than anything else. And I'm getting very, very natural mascara. All right, let's do a second coat. See, like, pretty, but not the look I'm going for. Let's put 2 coats on the other side. Again, pretty, just not the look I'm going for. So this is one, although I love the Maneater mascara, this one, it's all right. It doesn't give me what I'm looking for. All right, next we have the Milani Lash Extensions Highly Rated Mascara. So this one is very clearly, they were trying to dupe the Thrive mascara. This one, I haven't tried this one all that much, but I kind of found about the same thing to be true with this mascara as I did with the Thrive. This is very wet. I find that it makes my lashes look very long, and that's about it. And I don't really care if it's a tubing mascara or not. If I'm being honest, makes 0 difference to me. Like, already, I look like I have 3 lashes. So that's 1 coat. I remember how I blinked and this stuff got everywhere. Let's try that a little bit, but I just find that to be the case every time I wear a formula like this. This is a cone-shaped applicator. I do love the applicator. It's that like very spiky brush that's not made out of natural bristles. Love that. However, like I said, it's given me almost nothing. All right, that's 2 coats on both eyes. it's okay. That's it. It's just fine. All right, my eyes are getting a little bit sore from all this taking off, but we've got a few more. So this is the Benefit They're Real mascara. Now this one again is a very, very wet formula. See how it came out a little bit gloopy. It does have the type of brush that I want. If it was sans, this little spiky end, I would probably like it better. This one just tends to be a little bit too wet for me. Remember how I was saying that more wet mascaras tend to just make my lashes look long? Well, that is exactly what they're doing here. That's 2 coats. Like adding length, and that's about it. I really don't like it when my lashes look a little bit wispy. I want them to be built up and almost a little bit spidery. Maybe right on the edge of spidery, but some spideriness involved. And to me, this just isn't quite there. Tell me what you think. This is the Benefit They're Real. All right, so one of my favorite ever drugstore mascaras is this Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational Mascara. Now this is also a wet formula, which I know what you're thinking. You've already said how much you hate a wet formula. However, the brush on this, exactly what I want, cone shaped. And this does give me mostly what I'm looking for when it comes to lashes. Yes, it builds up, but also it does always end up being, now to be fair, does give me more length than anything else, but I can kind of build this up in a way that I want it to look. Okay, so this is 2 coats. Like, I think this looks really nice. The only thing with this one is the brush is like I don't need my brush to be that floppy. I'm not even gonna say it, but no, I'm going to. That's what she said. Like, it adds just enough bulk to my lashes. I will admit that I will normally pair this one with something else, but I like the effect that this one brings to my lashes. Although, looking at it now, I'm kind of thinking that I might have been wrong, that there are maybe some that give this effect but better. Maybe I need to look into that a little bit more. But the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. All right, so next we have the Big Ego from Tarte. I have a lot of Tarte mascaras here for zero reason. This one is one of my least favorites because look at that brush. It's an hourglass shape, but it is one of those kinds of brushes that, like, it's so big it's a little bit terrifying. Because look at it compared to the size of my eyeball. It's like literally the same size. But when I put this on, I thought it was supposed to give me a lot more than this and almost nothing. All right, let's put a little bit more. Now, to be fair, this is a little bit dry, but I don't even think I have to put it on my other side, but I'm going to. It just isn't giving quite enough to even make it worth my while. Like Big Ego mascara, try Almost Nothing There mascara. All right, last but not least, I have the iconic London. Let's see. This is the Triple Threat mascara. So I've actually never tried this before, but let's take a look at the brush. Oh, that is the kind of brush I like. This looks like it's not going to give almost anything though, because the formula looks really wet and like there's almost nothing on the brush. Let's see. Okay, that's actually making things pretty fluttery. Part of the reason I like a brush like this is because I find that it separates, which totally doing. It is a little bit wet though. Okay, that's 2 coats. That's really pretty actually. Oh crap, look at how much I just globbed down there. That's the other reason I hate, oh, I just did it again. I like stabbed myself twice. That's the other reason why I hate a super wet mascara, is I always get it everywhere. I was really lucky in the last few clips I didn't, but holy crap. So that's 2 coats on both sides and then a glob of extra. I don't know, which one was your guys' favorite? Like I said, I tend to go for a drier mascara, a synthetic wand, a skinny synthetic wand. I also like it to do a little bit of everything. I have to say, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to stick with my OG, but I also want to compare the pictures and see what they look like. In case you weren't counting, that was 16 different mascaras. So we're going to see side by side how they compare to each other. I'm going to pop up a picture. Take a look, see which one you like the best. I'm very curious to know. If you like more content like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I put out at least one long form video a week talking about hair, makeup, skin, all of that. It's kind of my thing. Bye.